Link, presented by Financial Center First Credit Union.
Thank you for joining us for this week's Community Link. I'm Caroline Mays Medley. Breast cancer is the most common invasive cancer in women and the second leading cause of cancer death in women. Our guest today is Dr. Monet Bowling, a renowned breast surgeon who is a passionate crusader in the cause against breast cancer. Welcome, Monet. We're so glad to have you.
Well, thank you.
So when we talk about breast cancer, what are some of the top risk factors and symptoms of breast cancer that we should be aware of?
Things that people really should be aware of is knowing their family history. It's very important to kind of know where you've come from and that looking at your risk of breast cancer. Other things that are very important is if a woman has had children, if they're nulliparous, that puts you at an increased risk. Using hormone replacement therapy puts you at increased risk for developing breast cancer. When your cycles end as a whole, the longer exposure you have to estrogen puts you at risk for developing breast cancer, and hormone replacement therapy use. So those are some of the top 5 things that really people should be very careful of knowing about.
So knowing those issues, obviously screening is important.
Absolutely.
How important is screening and how often should it be done?
Screening is very important and actually quite controversial, as many will find out if they do research, looking at women who are starting their screening mammograms at the age of 40 and then having those annual mammograms done on a screening basis every year. And some things that people get very confused about is a screening mammogram is actually done. You go in, you get 2 views of your breast. They do a top to bottom view, which is called craniocaudal, and they do a medial lateral view, which gives you a side to side compression. You can kind of see through the breast from both ways. It gives you a complete look at the breast, and that is done and not read immediately. That's actually read by the radiologist later on during that day, and you'll get that answer back by the end of the day or the next day. Diagnostic imaging is when they take a closer look at the breast, and they may ask you to do different views or kind of move your body around in the mammography machine, and as they do that, they're looking for something. So those are what people get when they get called back, or if they feel a mass, or if they think something is wrong.
So is breast cancer often treatable?
Absolutely. I think that one of the things that people get very fearful of is they hear the word cancer. And hearing the word cancer, people get very nervous and my life is over. And I can treat breast cancer. We can treat breast cancer. That is what we're here for. But the most important thing is actually diagnosing it, realizing that you have a problem, and taking care of it. Even more further along stages of breast cancer, stage 0, stage 1, stage 2, all of those things can be treated, stage 3, if we treat it early.
Okay, thank you so much, Monet. Great information. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, as our community begins to move forward after multiple days of protest, major companies are taking a stand against racism. Gloria Jimenez takes a look at how local businesses are speaking out.
Major companies are now taking a stand on racial injustice and police violence, as Netflix issues a statement of saying, "To be silent is to be complicit." Black Lives Matter. We have a platform and we have a duty to our Black members, employees, creators, and talent to speak up. A wide range of companies began to take a public stance on racial injustice and police violence after the death of George Floyd earlier this month. Most companies are hoping to build a sense of loyalty and a deeper sense of personal connection. Many institutions in Indiana are showing support for Black Lives Matter. Ivy Tech, Community College, Lilly, Purdue, Morales Group, IUPUI, the Indiana Latino Expo, and many more. Black Lives Matter. Women's rights are human rights. No human is illegal. Science is real. Love is love. For Community Link, I'm Gloria Jimenez.
Thank you so much for joining us today. This was your weekly Community Link. To share this segment or learn more, head to wishtv.com. We'll see you next week.